Okay, here we go. This is getting ready for the final flow coat. I've learned a few things here in this process. Don't wear Crocs, that's number one. Make sure your object is level. Use a good level. Don't be cheap now. And that's because even if it's a little bit off, it will all run off one side. Not all run off, but you know what I mean. It'll run off one side. Believe me, I know. So make sure it's level or pretty close to level. This is pretty much dead set level. There we go. Cover everything with plastic, just regular plastic. I mean, this stuff, the epoxy just doesn't even come close. It dries on there and it just falls right off. I had a thought, I haven't tried it yet. Next time I do this, instead of using duct tape or tape or anything to seal my cracks from the bottom, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do the bottom first, and I'm gonna put one coat on the, I'm gonna clean that whiteness out of there, I think. I'm gonna put one coat on the bottom and sides, and I'm gonna take plastic and I'm gonna put the plastic on there because it will stick until you peel it off. So I'm gonna put a coat of epoxy on there on the bottom and sides, and then I'm gonna line the sides and the bottom with plastic. Let that cure. Careful not to touch the plastic, and then I think that'll give me a good seal to hold in the epoxy when I pour it in the cracks in the top. Does that make sense? Sometimes I know what I'm thinking about, but I don't get it out correctly in words. So I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but instead of using tape, I'm gonna use plastic. I don't even know how many coats on this now. I think there's 4 coats on the top, 4 or 5 on the sides, and one. The bottom is done. The bottom is 1 coat. It's just 1 coat just to seal it so it doesn't absorb moisture and stuff. And then when I do this flow coat, this stuff rolls over the edge, and I just make sure to keep, and I'm gonna leave these cracks in here. I was gonna try to fill them all up, but I'm gonna leave them. So all the little cracks, I don't know if I can get that white stuff out of there, or it might be okay. There's one big one. And another thing I thought of with the plastic was where's the biggest crack? Was to, if I put the epoxy in there, I can brush it in there and it'll stay for a minute or two. I could take a piece of plastic and put it over that, and this plastic will stick enough to hold that in there. I tried it. My concern was that I wouldn't be able to get the bubbles out, and the little air bubbles would be stuck in that crack forever. So I didn't do it. I'm gonna leave the cracks. So I got a brand new fresh batch of epoxy. Haven't even opened it yet. I made a mistake of leaving my epoxy bottles down here, and once they got dirty, it was a real pain to not, those are just virtually empty. It was a pain to not get the dirt in my epoxy when I poured it to mix it. So now with my fresh batch, I'm going to make sure for one, I'm not opening it until I'm ready to use it. And for 2, I'm gonna put it someplace where it's gonna stay clean instead of just putting it down the bottom of the shelf. I've cleaned the garage up as good as I can. It's about 178 degrees here today in beautiful Illinois. Crystal Lake, Illinois is where we're at, if anybody cares. So that's it. I'm going to do this now, and hopefully this is the last time. I know my girlfriend doesn't like this because she doesn't like the color. She doesn't like anything that's not dark, any wood that's not a dark color. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If I'm actually going to make it into a table, if I'm just going to give it away, if I'm going to stick it somewhere and forget about it. I don't even know what I'm going to do. But it's the project. It's the learning how to do it that's fun. So that's it. I'll make another video when it's done, I guess. Okay.